Good afternoon or morning, everybody. Having a look at the weekend's racing, including the Epsom and the Metropolitan. Okay, but I thought I'd clear up a couple of things for our members. And I'm firstly going to look at the Cplan, tell you how it went for September. Okay, so I'm going into our GTX program and I've got our basic Cplan information here. We're not going to look at heavy tracks. Distance, I'm running between 1300 and 2600. Age up to 7. These are the WinForm top 2 runners, and the value is a minimum of 20. Okay, so it calls up what's happened over the month, and the SP price is 0 and 3, which means up to $4. And the rank, of course, has got to be the favourite. And we put a little bit of stuff in here just to say, okay, got to have had at least 2 career starts. So I can run this through for September and the results will come up straight away. And what we've got here is that we had 41% winners, okay, and they're the ones who were favourite which one. It doesn't show us which were the other horse in our 2 race set. So we're looking at the WinForm 1 and the WinForm 2. Okay, so it includes the favoured ones, but not the ones that were also rated were in second. Now, I would expect those to win when the favourite loses somewhere between 8 and 10% of the time. Now, what we're looking at here when we do this, I'll just go back here, and that's just using the best of the 3 totes there, okay? So what we want to do, I'm going to take out the place side of things, and we're going to use this one as proportional staking. And what happens, this simply means it would be dividing 100 divided by the actual price. And that way, the shorter the price of the horse is, the more we're going to put on it. So that's showing a profit of 1.8%. Let's run analyze again and see what it comes up with. Now, doing it proportional, and remember we're on favourites, once again we get 41%, and we get a return of $420, which is a profit very, very similar. Losing run, longest losing run was 5, and of course, because September was a month where we had a lot of good tracks as it warmed up, so we're getting a better result. Okay, so some of those will be second rated WinForm and some of those not. So now I'm going to put a different rating in here, and this is going to be, I'll put in tab Queensland. Hang on. Q rate. These are the ratings you get on the tab, which these days are equivalent to the Sky ratings. So what I'm going to put up down here, I'm going to change the WinForm, not include those, but what I'm going to do is have the Q rate and the top 2 in the Q rate. Now when we run these, first of all, let's run it on just best tote. We'll run that through. What was this return like? Was 39%, very close. And if we do it on a proportional staking and we run that, we've still got the 39%, and our loss, well, it looks like we might have actually lost a little bit. So very interesting that. Let's run it again. Yeah, we actually made more by bidding best tote. Anyway, it can sometimes go the other way. Point is, I'm just showing you basically what the Cplan is. Now, if you don't have the WinForm ratings, you can use the Sky ratings, which in this database is the one supplied on the Queensland tab. So I'll just take that out now because we'll go back and we'll have a look in a minute at load race. I'll put it on Saturday, and we're only interested in the Randwick ratings now. You might say, why only look at the Randwick? Because in Melbourne it's going to be quite wet, they tell us. So we'll stick to looking at the ones from Randwick. In the meantime, I am just going to go back here, and there was something else I wanted to do, and that is have a look at the tab, and here it is. Okie doke. And this is so that you can see the ratings yourself. If you don't have access to the GTX program, you don't have wind form. You can see here I'm looking at race 8, which is the Metropolitan, and you can see here you can choose sky rating by just clicking that on. You can also get in there the fixed rate fluctuations, but you don't get both in the one field. So looking at your sky rating is what we want to look at. No, show all form, no, go back. Do that now. Sky rating and hide all form. So we're going back to where the ratings are, and the first one we look for is the 100 pointer, which in this case is Land Legend. It's $7. And we look for their second rated one. Well, there's a 98 there, which is Future History. So Future History is the second rated one. So here we can see Land Legend is currently $7. The other one is $8.50. So if we were doing the Dutch bet on those as part of our Cplan rating, then guess what? We'd only be outlaying about $30 to return 100, something like that, because it's a wide open betting race. Now, if we go back now and have a look at race 9, the Epsom, loading up, it says. Gee, the NBN is wonderful, isn't it? Okay, we've got our sky ratings there. And you find number 100 is Major Bill. Okie doke. And what's the second highest sky rating here? Looks to be a 97, which is Sheo Wolf. So that gives you, say, $16 on that one. And you would only need to have, say, $10 on that. So you're outlaying, what is that, 11, 16, $27 to get a return of that. You're not going to get that all the time, though, because obviously you can see there it's a huge open field. And what's the favourite? Looks like Sheo Wolf and Royal Patronage are the favourites. After you've done the scratchings, the ratings may change, but the whole idea is you just look at those a few minutes before the race and you apply those other things that we had on the program. Okay, now I'm sure you want to know what I think about the races. As I said, they're very wide betting races. So having a look now at race 9, which is the Metropolitan, have a look at this. My first 7 choices, all trained by Chris Waller. Hang on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. My top 4 choices, all trained by Chris Waller. We don't have a rider for Strathspey, and that may be because, being number 20, it's probably one of the first emergencies, or it's obviously a non-runner. This one is probably a non-runner too, which means it would get in Methuselah, which, by the way, is also entered in Melbourne. But I have an idea. Just click here, Methuselah. Is no good on a wet track, so you would really expect it would more likely run in Sydney. Anyway, not to worry. So you can pick on a couple of things like that. So let's just look at these horses, look at a bit of the form. It's only had 2 runs from a spell. This is an overseas horse with 2 wins altogether, has 1 on this track. And at Randwick here on a 2600, it made an 85.5, which is an excellent rating. Land Legend finished, sorry. Yes, of course it was the Land Legend. 322 days off beaten, 6 lengths and 5 lengths, but 3rd run after a spell, and could improve, I think. If this horse were to start here, you can see it ran an 83.2 last start. That was only at a benchmark 78, but nevertheless, 16 starts for 5 wins. It's how good they do really that determines it. So it's racing well in lower class. It could step up to this, okay? And then we look at the 3rd runner is First Light. It's had 5 from 29, 3 starts for a win, a 3rd here, 4 starts from 10 at the distance. 1 last start was a Group 3, won by 3 lengths, which is excellent form for this. The only drawback, I suppose, it's 7 years old and getting a bit older, but can't do anything much about that. Chris Waller's unusual legacy only scored a 66.6, and that was a lower class race over only 1900. So we don't want to look at that. 2400 here for Strathspey. And this particular one only rated a 60.9, in the Group 3 behind First Light. So clearly you can see the horses that I prefer, probably nothing outside that first three. If we're looking at the Epsom, it's another thing altogether. As you can see, the Waller horses are way down south. Having a look at this, we've got rated 8.5 to 1 the field, and that makes it a very, very, very open race. I've looked at a few of these that I've got 20-point negative points on, and I've had reasons for that. But anyway, let's have a look at floating. Floating did win last start, very fast time, 74.5. Previously at Rose Hill ran a 76.9. Now, if we look at the next horse, and we find on this Kintyre is 2 runs after a spell going really well, rated 76.8 first up, a little less second up. And you'll notice that basically it's won over 2,000 and 1,600. And it's handled the wet or dry. Dry's only had 2 wins out of 13. But either way, it's had a 50% place strike rate. This is a new level of class in the Group 1 back here on October last year. Run over 2,000 and was well beaten. On the Group 3, it was a better performer, only beaten a length and a half in Newcastle. Anyway, moving along from that, we've got Royal Patronage, a clear overseas horse, and ran a 75, and that was 420 days ago. 420 days since previous start. That was a good rating over 1,400. Over the 1,600 was only beaten 1.1 length second up, and that was behind Fangirl. Has a little bit of an excuse with the stewards, but has won 5 wins from his 17 starts. And I would be very confident that Royal Patronage would do well. And then Major Beale ran a 75.1 there, a 69.8 there, and is a leader, which is very important. And Day Waterhouse trains, and they really rub in the horse, mostly leader all the time. 9 starts for 2 wins at the track, 3 runs at the 1,600 at this track, or a win and a second. And I would have no hesitation in including that one in my selections. Okay, that's as far as I probably want to go. Kovalika is first up after a bit of a break. Well, it's been a little while anyway, so it's probably about 4 weeks, I'd guess. Did run a 75, ran a 69 over 2,200 there, 2,049. So its best effort is probably not up to these, but you never know your luck. Second up, 4 starts for 2 wins and a second. So it can handle a second up run. It's not the one that I would want to be on though. So anyway, in that top 5, maybe we'll get the Quinella. Okay, that's all I have to say now, except I'll just remind you again that we should be looking at VicBet. One of the things I did want to show you with the VicBet site, going in there, I'll log into my account, and I'll just hope there's a few thousand in there for me to operate on tomorrow. Bingo, there you are. And you can see here that I have available 4 boost bets. Now, if I was to pick something, let's say, what are we looking at here? Today's Saturday's racing. Let's have a look at race 9. Okay, say I wanted to pick Kovalika, for example. So I could pick that one up at that price now, and I can go V-Boost, and they'll increase my price from $7 to $7.72. That's an excellent, worthwhile change. Now, the other thing is, if I go on best of 3 totes, I can't get a bet boost, and so it's basically on fixed price. If I go on best of the best, there ain't no bet boost coming there. Actually, I think that Kovalika one, if I go back again, because I've got no bet slips there, let me go back and best, can't do that. Here we are, best of 3 totes or the starting price, and I get my best bet token, best of 3 totes or starting price plus 12%. it's well worth considering, and that means you're not worried about what the fluctuations are because you get what finishes up. I just can't understand why it's relatively short, and seal wolf, I didn't even consider that. And that's all I have to show you today, and I'll just go back to my website. The reason I'm going here is because I put a little information in here. That's a bit of a joke, really. If only oh, here it is. Yes, it's going. I put a little thing up today. I did copy it from someone, I've got to be honest. So, some famous sayings, okay? Can you remember the last time you ate a square meal? I can't. As a rule of thumb, they're round, at least when served on dishwasher-friendly round plates. So, how did they get that expression? That was because when they were on a ship, they used a square plate with an edge on it so that the food and so on didn't run off. And became that, has it ever rained cats and dogs? Well, have you ever gone the whole 9 yards? Have you ever encountered a brass monkey? Okay, that's all for me. Back we go to my Wayne website. You're welcome to come in there every time. There's plenty of information on there. This video will be on there later this afternoon. And good luck and thanks for watching.